Welcome to the second video tutorial. In this video we're going to be learning how to create the tables, the three tables that we need: the members table, tracks table and orders table that we need. And we're going to create those from the data that we've imported into Access. So remember, we imported data for members and also data for tracks. Now, to create our tables, we're going to create a query called a make table query. Now, make table queries are queries that are actually used to create tables in Microsoft Access. So to create our first table, which is going to be the members table, we're going to click on Create, select Query Design, and we're going to add the important members data. So highlight that and select Add. Then we're going to close this. I'm just going to review all the field names in that table. So according to the data dictionary that we created, for the members table we need the members ID. So to add the members ID to this query grid, we're going to double click it. Double click members ID, and then it comes in our query grid. Title, first name, double click surname, address line 1, address line 2, city, county, postcode, email, date joined. Now the other fields are not relating to members, so we don't include those. The next thing I'm going to do is to select make table, because the type of query I'm creating is called a make table query. So we're going to highlight or click make table. Now the table that we're going to create is obviously called members table. Now the rule when creating tables in Microsoft Access is that all tables must have a prefix TBL. This just indicates that they are tables. So we're going to put TBL underscore members, and then click OK. Now, some of the members in this file here are duplicated, so some members appear a number of times. I'm just going to show you that. I'm going to open this. As you can see, Miss Sophia Botella appears many times in this file. Same thing as Leslie. So Leslie here appears here, she also appears there. We really do not want these these records duplicated in our members table. We just want each member to appear once in the members table. So to avoid that happening, to avoid the duplicates, we simply click on totals here. And when you click totals, it kicks out all the duplicates. Next thing you're going to do is to run your query by clicking Run. It tells you that there are about 10 rows that are going to be imported into your table. So there's 10 different customers in there. We're going to click Yes. Okay, straight away I'm going to save this query. And all queries must have a prefix QRY. And I'm going to put MT here to show that it's a make table query. And then I'm going to give this a name. So it's a query, a make table query for creating members table. So the name for that query is QRY, MT for make table, and is for the members table. And I'm going to click OK. Now I've just created the members table. So if you look at it, double click to open it, you can see that you've got your 10 members and there is no duplicates at all. So all of these members are really unique. Okay, so I've got the title, first name, surname, address line 2, the city, the county, postcode, email, and date joined. What we need to do is to set the primary key, and the primary key is set in Design View. So if you go to View and select Design View, this is where you do that. Now, according to our data dictionary, the member table is our primary key, and it should really be set as auto number, because we want the database to generate the IDs automatically, because these, if I go back into table view, you can see that these numbers are continuous, which means that we can actually make the database generate them automatically. And to do that, we need to set this data type as auto number. The only trouble is, if you try to make those changes, for example setting this as a primary key and trying to change this data type to auto number, the database will not allow me to do that. Okay? Because I already got data in my tables, so it will not allow me to do that. So a way to get around that is to come out of design view, then delete all the records in here before making any changes. So to do that, click in the corner there, it highlights the whole table, right click and select delete record. So it deletes all the records, click yes, click save to save the table. Now we've got an empty table, we can go back in design view and then we can change this data type to auto number and then save. Okay, so I'm ready to put new data in there. Now if you look, for example, the title, I can actually decide what titles we can have. So we can have a validation rule that restricts the titles that I can put in here. So for example, I'm just going to go back into this members table and see the sort of titles that are in there. So we've got Mr., Miss, so it's mainly Miss, MS, and Mr. But who knows, you might have other titles in there. So I'm just going to close this and then go back into my title. So click the title, where it comes out down here where it says validation rule, I would like Mr., comma, Mrs., comma, Miss, comma, we might have a Miss with a double S. In fact, I should have this as Mr. Oops, Mr. or Mrs. or Miss or Miss with an MS. So these are the titles that will be allowed by this validation rule. I need to have a validation text, which is the error message that comes up if data which is not Mr., Mrs., Miss or Miss is entered. So I'm going to put here, please enter Mr. or Mrs. or MISS, Miss or Miss MS. Okay. One thing you should do is also to change the field size. So look at what field size you set for your in your data dictionary. So hopefully most of you put this as 4 or 5. So 4 really is enough as a field size, so I'm going to change that to 4. Go on to the next field, which is a first name. Usually field names, first names are not 255 characters, so a sensible field size could be 30. Do the same for the surname. I'm going to change that to 30, but at this point you should be referring to your data dictionary and looking at what you made your field size to be. So I think 30 is a reasonable field size for most of these. City, probably the longest, could be 15 characters. I'm going to make it 15. The county, again, maybe 20 characters long. The postcode, probably 10. But usually a postcode has at most about 8 characters. So I'm going to put this as 10, which is safe. So the field size is the maximum number of characters that can be entered in the field. Email, I'm going to put that as 30. And then the date joined. Now for the date joined, I'm going to select a format which is a short date. So if you look carefully in the data, the CSV file provided, the format for the date in there is a short date. Now I've done everything that I need to do. I've set my primary key, I've changed that to auto number, and I've set the field sizes I've also done a validation rule for the title. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to go back into table view. Now I need to put the data back into this table. Okay, so I'm going to close this, but before you close, do make sure that you've saved it. Now this query was used to create the table. We made it a make table query, but because we already got the table created, we're not going to create a table, but we are going to append data to that table. So I'm just going to do one slight change and select append. Append means you're going to copy data into an existing table. So in the table that I'm going to copy that data into is the table members. So again, quickly you select append and then make sure it's the members table. I'm going to click OK and then run this. So again, it says you're about to append 10 rows. Yes, that's correct because I've got 10 customers that I need to append. I'm going to click yes to that. Save this query. I'm going to close it and then just double check that my members table has got data in it. So I'm going to double click that and there it is. It's got members in it. I go into design view. I can see that I've got a primary key set. I will close this. In the next video, I will show you how to create your next table, which is the tracks table. See you in the next video.